This is Rita. She is my lovely 81-year-old mother-in-law. She lives with us. And today, this wonderful Saturday morning, she and I are cooking up all the extra apples and pears that we have lying around in the fridge that just absolutely need something to be done with them. They've been there for quite a while. So while Bella is out running in the golf course with my husband on this freezing cold day here in Montreal, Quebec, Canada, she and I are going to be here in the nice cozy kitchen and cooking. So we're really lucky that when we decided to become vegan, Rita decided to become vegan along with us. When she found out about the kidnapping and murder that occur in the dairy industry, the egg industry, and the meat industry, she decided to join us and to never consume these again. Now today we're actually making some applesauce. So Rita has already cut up most of the red apples and the pears and has now moved on to whatever was left in the fridge, and here we have a bunch of green apples. Now I'll be honest with you, every time she cuts, I'm afraid she's going to cut her finger off, but she never has, and she's 81 years old, and I guess she knows what she's doing. At first, when I asked her if she could help me cut up a bunch of apples, she cut them so perfectly. And then I was like, oh no, actually you don't have to do such a great job because we're just going to be blending them up. We're making a giant applesauce. Well, apple pear sauce. So she's like, oh, okay. Do you live with an elderly person in your house? A grandmother, a grandfather, or a great aunt, perhaps? Or maybe you are one of those elderly people who is watching this. If you live with your family, tell me about that. What is that like? Do you have a sense of comfort living with them, knowing that if something happens, you are going to be taken care of? Or do you find it's kind of a bit squishy and sometimes you wish you had more privacy? How is it for you? While you write in the comment section, I'll just remind you that when you're making your applesauce, you really can never have enough cinnamon. That's my opinion anyway. So just go ahead and dump as much in there as you like. So I personally really love living with Rita. I mean, granted, we do have sort of separate spaces. She has her own apartment downstairs, but we share a laundry room and she can come up and we can go down anytime we want to. We don't lock the doors between us. So she comes up every day and tries to see what needs to be done. She putters around the kitchen a bit, and I go down throughout the day just to check on her once or twice. And maybe she's watching some show in Italian and I might sit there for a couple minutes and just see if I can finally manage to pick up the language, which I'm really not very good at. Vegan cooking in our home is so simple. We really just use whatever needs to be eaten. We very rarely waste any food. We just decide, okay, this needs to be eaten, so we're just blending it all up and shoving it into a pot, and that's it. Sometimes it's fruits, sometimes it's vegetables, ends up being a soup or whatever. So I don't do that many videos about vegan cooking because most people will just say, oh God, that's all you eat? But yeah, it's really simple. If you've been following this channel, you know that we always have something called date paste lying around, which is what you just saw in the jar there. Date paste is basically ground up dates. So instead of using sugar to sweeten things, we just dip into our jar of date paste, which is pre-ground up dates, and then we just dump it into, in this case, today, the sauce we're making. There it is. Yummy. Some date paste can also be added in spaghetti type sauces, like tomato sauces. You know how sometimes the recipe calls for sugar? So instead of putting just pure white sugar, which has no vitamins and minerals, you can use a blob of date paste. That's it. That's all it looks like. Just ground up dates. Before I was vegan, I rarely ate dates. I probably had them only when I would have oatmeal date square cookies. And even then, I thought they were very sweet, like too sweet. But now I've come to love them, and I can eat whole ones just like candy. And I guess a big part of it is psychological in knowing that they are a whole food, a healthy food, actually nutritious, even though they're that sweet. So I typically take a little bite of them and a little bite of a nut and continue like that as a snack sometimes. Whenever we're cooking, we usually have a big container of water like this hanging around because typically when we're cooking, whatever's in the pan seems to either dry up or start to try to burn. So we always have like emergency water, like add water to the pan before it gets too dry. So this is what we've been adding into the pot of the apples and pears. Since Rita's Italian, you can imagine how much she used to eat cheese and even baby cows in the form of veal, but she didn't really know what she was doing. And when we told her what happens to the baby cows, she definitely stopped. I was really happy that she did because I didn't think I could live with somebody who kept bringing in these dead body parts. It was really sad to know that that was going on. But she's been fine. And by the way, those of you who say you can't be vegan because you have an allergy to soy, let's say, or to gluten, well, let me introduce you to Rita. She's allergic to soy and gluten, and she's doing fine as a vegan. So if she can be vegan, I think you can too. In fact, she was able to stop many of her medications. She was on cardiac medication before that, and she lost weight. She also had problems with constipation before, which now she doesn't. So if Rita can go vegan, I think you can too. You know it's best for the animals. I know you don't want to hurt them. So join us. Follow this channel, subscribe, and press the notification bell. And help us get the animals out of hell. And also just have fun. Experiment with whatever's in your fridge. Don't let anything go to waste. Or if you want to be sure that everything's going to work out, then just Google healthy vegan recipes. You will find millions of them. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all in the next video. Bye for now.